Hey guys, this is my Scx24 power wagon, and all these parts are going to go on it. Right now what I have done to it, I got these little side things, got a little Yeti cooler I made, got these Enduro wheels with little guy racing parts, black label tires, got a Gladiator bumper on here because of the fitment. Because the stock one was rubbing on the wheels when I turned. I've got magnet mount, a 3D printed LCG kit, high steer front axle, brass in the front, stock rear axle. I got an upgraded brush motor, and then I got an Emax servo, and that's really all. But we're gonna put these Mias isokinetic axles in it, with a torque servo that I zip tied weights to. Then we got these Enduro 40mm big bore shocks. I got these two brass rings to put in the front two rims. And then I got an Enduro Purple Viper with a MBL32 G2 ESC. And I got an Enduro reversible skid plate so we can reverse the motor. And I got Ramp Crab high clearance Gladiator links. So let's get into the build. First thing we're going to install are the brass rings on the front wheels. These will help get the weight bias more towards the front and help it grip better, because more weight on the front, the better. Especially for climbing. That way we can get better angles and everything. So, take apart the wheel. There's 6 screws in the center you take out. 1. And this is a 0.05 inch nut driver, or hex driver, whatever you want to call it. So I'm gonna take that out. There we go. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna pull this out. Oh, we already had brass rings in here, so that's nice. So I guess that's good. And then to put it back together, we're gonna get the bead seated around this ring. And then squeeze it, and then the holes, we'll just put the screws back in. I'm gonna put these away then. There we go. Now we can get the screws back in. I like having beadlocks because that way it's easy to switch out the tires. And I love these black label little guy racing parts tires. They work really well. They grip well, they're good looking, and they're big. And the holes all seem to line up really well on these Enduro beadlocks. Like these, they're nice looking, they're cheap, and they kind of look like a method wheel. There we go. So we'll put those off to the side. And we're gonna leave these on here since these axles are coming off. They'll go on another build probably. There we go. And let's take the body off so that way we don't scratch it up. There's 2 screws back here. 1 here. There we go. And then 1 right here. And that's the hinge. There we go. Now the body's off. Just gotta unplug this lights. There you go. You can put that off to the side now. Okay. And then I like to put the screws back in here so that way I don't lose them and I know exactly which ones go there. That way we can have them together. So next we are going to take off the rear wheels. Oh. Excuse me for a moment, that dang piece just flew off. Okay, managed to find the piece. It flew into the garbage can, but it landed on a piece of cardboard I had in there. So that's good that I didn't lose it. There's a little bit of dog hair on here. The dogs. Now we're gonna take this wheel off. Problem with these magnet mounts is everything sticks to them. Okay, there we go. Now we got that out. That's all 4 tires off. Okay, so we gotta remember these 2 are the rear tires. They have different weights in them. And those 2 are the front tires because those are the heavier ones. We also have these skids to put on there. I don't know where I put the second one though. But I do have it lying around here. We'll find it eventually. We'll find it while we're working. Okay. So next, I'm just gonna unplug everything from the ESC and unplug the motor. There we go. And then we'll put this right off to the side with the body. Okay. So now let's cut all these old zip ties off. There's a couple of them. I tried to keep the wires neat with them. I'm just gonna snip that one now. Put this one off to the side. Or throw it away, I mean. Okay, here we go. So what we're gonna wanna do now is we're just gonna wanna get all these wires untangled and put up out of the way. This is the only wire that's gonna be staying because it's for the wire on the bump. It's for the lights on the bumper. And then everything else will just get taken out. So next what I'm gonna wanna do is I'm gonna wanna take my X driver and we're gonna take off the old motor. There's 1 screw up top and 2 on the bottom. There we go. Then we can just pull this out. So we're gonna need the drive shafts off of this. So we'll take these and we'll grab our new motor and gearbox and put them on there. There we go, there's one. And then this will go on this side of the motor since I have it reversed. And then that'll go on there. And we can just screw this in. There we go. Now it'll line up. Okay. There we go. There, and then we'll take off the front drive shaft. I did not get upgraded drive shafts. I haven't. Unless you're going like big Fury Tech brushless, then drive shafts are fine. Because when I had plastic drive shafts on my 4Runner, which is a Fury Tech system, Fury Tech, what is it? A Fury Tech mini Komodo with a lizard micro python. That had a lot of power and it broke one of the plastic drive shafts, but you don't really need to upgrade them as long as you don't beat on it. So now we will, what do we want to do now? I guess we'll just finish tearing it down. I'm just going to take off everything as one. That's off. I'm going to keep these little plastic pieces just to thread the new shocks into. We don't even need, we can just take out everything at once because it all comes off the same skid plate. We don't need these screws again because the new skid plate comes with new screws. So I'll just put them in my little screw storage. I will keep these though because I do need the longer screws for the sliders. Okay, that was getting a little bit boring, but what I did was I took all this out. I took the screws out of the skid plate, took out the shocks, and everything just kind of dropped down. And then here's the chassis. So all we're really gonna need from this is these drive shafts. If I can ever get the screw in there. So we're just gonna need these drive shafts. And I'll pop that out. There we go. It's one of them. And sometimes these guys don't want to come out, so I just take this, shove it in the hole, and pop it out. And pop it on that side. And then what I'm gonna do, so here's our rear axle. Pop that on here. And there we go. Now we got new drive shafts on here. Perfect. Now we can spin it. I just grease these up. It's got some underdrive gears in the rear. And then I'll take off the front drive shaft now. The front drive shaft is the same. It's just shorter. One screw. Sometimes these screws have so much grease or whatever on them that they don't. It's hard to grab onto them. And there. Then I will just pop out this drive shaft screw. Here we go. So now we don't need this anymore. This part's all used on another truck now. So we can just put that off to the side. Sorry about that. Okay. Now we'll grab our front axle. We're gonna put this drive shaft on the front like that. Then same as the rear. Screw should go in pretty easily. Here we go. Perfect. Now we got our front and rear axles ready. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our new skid and we're gonna install that. So this is an Endura reversible skid. Here's the thing, if you guys want to know. I got it off Amazon, it was $10. Here's the skid. There's screws in there. Here it is, it's aluminum, CNC, reversible. And then see how these curve up right here? Let it focus. These parts that curve up are the front. And then this will be in the rear. Because as you can see, the front of the chassis curves up right there. And then this will just pop in right on. You pop that in that side. Then it should pop in like that. And we'll slide it till the holes line up. Perfect. Okay. Then here's our screws. It'll come with all the screws that we need to install it. Here we go. Pour these out. And then these bags are nice for storing other stuff. Then we can grab the links. Perfect, already assembled. Got these links for the rears. And these are the fronts. These are the cheapest links on Amazon. They're decent and they work. They're ramp crab. They're pretty decent, I guess. I use them because they're cheap. But I've had a set on another truck for a while and they've been good. I'll get right back after I assemble the links. Okay, front links are all assembled. Now I'll assemble the rears. Okay, now we have the rear links assembled also. Let's get them on the truck. So what I'm gonna do, okay. So I believe that the markings go in the front because they have this cutout in the rear for where the other ones are. So we'll go right through there. Then I will grab my screwdriver. We'll screw that down. Perfect. Then I will do the rear one, or not the rear, the other front. Sorry if I'm confusing. This screwdriver doesn't really fit in these screws that well, so. Okay. Now I will grab my sliders. Or one of the sliders. Excuse me for a minute while I find the slider. Okay, I successfully found the slider. So that'll go there. And then we're gonna use the stock screws that came out because they're longer. These little black ones. The ones they give you in the kit with the slider, with the new skid, are not long enough to be used with a slider. So I'll thread them into the slider, or the skid, slider, whatever. And then I'll just screw them into the skid. Perfect. Then we'll do the other one. I have a lot of hardware, which is nice because if something's missing hardware, then you can use it. But the other screws that came with it are too short. They're not meant to go with sliders. Okay, there we go. Now we got that done. Okay, now we're gonna put these lower ones on. I like these because you don't have to put the rod ends on them. They're already all assembled. They're simple to assemble. You don't have to twist the rod end and get everything messed up. This way, everything's already made like this, and it's all the exact same length because it's all one piece instead of twisting rods until you finally get the right alignment. I like these better, and they're cheaper, so it's nice. So it was only $10 for this set of links. And Amazon, it took 2 days to deliver. There we go. I should probably be using thread lock, but we'll see how it goes. I might need to add some in the future. Okay, now let's do the other side. I'm gonna do these lower ones first. Perfect. Okay, now we'll do the upper ones. My workplace is kind of a mess right now. Haven't cleaned it up in a couple days. Just gets all messed up. I hope you guys can see this all okay. There we go. Okay, last link. There we go. All the new links are installed. So, I gotta find the other slider. I don't know where it went. I think it slid off, or when I cleaned up when I moved stuff around, it probably either fell off the table or it's in a big pile of stuff on the sides. So I'm gonna quickly try to find that and I'll get back. So I couldn't find the other slider. I probably accidentally threw it out, so I'm 3D printing a new one. So it should be done by the time we got the axles in. So let's put the axles in. Okay, let's do the rear first, since that'll be easier. Okay. Well, actually, we're gonna need to do the shocks with the rear axle, because I'm mounting the shocks differently, because the rear axle, the shock hole's stripped and cracked. So it was a bummer when that happened, but can't do anything about it now. Okay, so I'm gonna need 2 longer shock screws. I have them right here. I gotta grab them. Problem is, magnets pick up screws and they get messed up. But I need the 2 long ones in my little screw thing. Very disorganized. Here we go. Okay, we got these 2. So we'll take that, put that through here, and then we'll put it through this. There we go. It's one of them done. The reason why we're mounting the lowers first is so that we can get the drive shaft angle correct, so that way we can mount the uppers. Oh, there. We're losing it. This is going to be a long video. But I hope it helps some of you guys in your journey to upgrading your Scx24s. Because it's a great hobby. It's a little expensive, but it's fun. Okay. So now I'm going to take these rears and I'm going to mount them. I'm going to mount them right here in the top hole. So let me grab 2 screws. Here's one. Here's 2. Okay. So this will go right here. We'll screw that in. It's too long. I'm going to use shorter ones. Here's one of them. Okay, now we'll turn it around and do the second one. There we go. Okay, now let's figure out shocks. So we'll mount them in these holes right here. Let me grab. We'll use the screws that we took out of the whatever it's called earlier. Okay, these are not long enough. We're gonna need longer ones. Use this one. So that'll go right there. And then we'll grab our little plastic pieces from earlier. Perfect. Here's one. And we'll flip around and do the other one. I just need to find where I put that other screw I was going to use. Here we go. It's not the right one. Where'd it go? There we go. Okay. Then let's grab that other little plastic piece from earlier. Stick that on there. Stick this on there. And then we'll tighten that in. These are just the little studs from the bottom of a battery tray. Okay, there we go. Rear axle is all installed. Okay, now we can install the front axle. For the front axle, we'll do these first. I hope it fits. Might, for now, gonna take off the front bumper so that it doesn't get in the way. Because we're gonna need to do a little bit of trimming on that for the servo, because it's such a big servo. Perfect. So I'm gonna pull this out now. Oh, well, our light bar has broke. Well, it's broken, so I'll just cut that off. So I guess our front bumper will not have lights in it. Sad. Okay, here we go. Okay, I'm gonna flip these two up here. So that way we can take this one. So these weights are going to be a problem. We're going to have to take off the weights. I was really hoping I could use the weights on this. So I'll be right back after I get these off. Okay, now a new print has started. Hopefully we can get that so that way we can mount the electronics. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to grab the new motor and we can mount that up. So this is supposed to mount the other way. I reversed the electric currents so that it'll spin in the correct direction. There we go. Oh, messed that up. So this seems that the shaft is too short. I will need to grab a new shaft. Let's see what we got sitting around. Weird. Okay. I don't know. See what I got. I have another chassis sitting right over here. Let me grab that. Okay. Got this chassis. Okay, I'm gonna take the upgraded Endure shaft off of it. Perfect. Okay, so I'm gonna have to switch this over on this side. That's really weird that happened. And then we're gonna have to find the other end to that, which is right here. I don't know why it's like that. It's weird. This end will go right here. I need the screw because it's a different thread type. Okay, let's get the new shaft mounted up front now. I just think this weird that it's shorter than that, because we might need to trim down our rear shaft. I don't know. See how this goes. These Endura shafts work pretty well. I had these on my other power wagon. And then I took them off because I didn't need them. I took apart that truck because the chassis was all messed up. And I just never got around to putting it back together. So let's see how it fits now. So, let's line all this up. There we go. Okay, so now I'm gonna put a screw on here, and we should be able to get this screwed in. Okay, and then we'll mount it right there. Next screw. There we go. Okay, that's really loose. Just put this right here. There's not much left on that end, but it'll at least help it stay in one spot. Okay, there we go. We got a motor in it. Okay, so our electronic speed controller is right here. ESC. So we'll probably mount that on this side. And then we can mount our receiver, which is over here somewhere. Threw it out. I don't remember where I threw it. Let me see. Let's get the body on, see how that fits. Oh, it's right here. Let's get this body on. So that way we can figure out the bumper situation. Okay, here we go. So I hope we can figure out a bumper for the front, because I want a bumper on it. So I want it to qualify for the certain class, and it just looks better with a bumper on it. Because we can always modify one or 3D print or make our own. I don't know. Let's see. Okay. So we're gonna want to mount the shocks up higher. endless. Let's see. Let's grab our old bumper. It's not gonna have lights on it anymore because lights broke. Let's see. We'll take out the lights. Okay. Now let's mount it up. It's just snapping in there. See how it sits. Let's see if everything clears. Looks like it clears. Perfect. Okay, and then I'll just trim these two edges off. Let's grab the Dremel. I just want to trim off a little bit on this edge. Dremel cord's caught around. I do have a cordless Dremel. Thing is useless. Do not buy a cordless Dremel. They are junk. Okay, here we go. We can screw the bumper back on. And then I'm going to 3D print a little winch for the front of it. A fake winch, because I think that'll look cool if I glue it right on top of here. Okay, our little slider is almost done. Our second slider, actually. Perfect. Now let's see. Looks good. Then we can put a little winch on here. It'll compress like that. The rear compresses a little more than the front. So let's see what we can do about that. Just mount it in this hole right here. Perfect. Okay, we did one hole up. Perfect. Okay, that's a little better. We'll just have to tension the springs a little more on the rear. There we go. Okay, perfect. Sits pretty level now. Looking good. We do not want a squatted truck. I guess we can mount the wheels now. Okay, the rears I have right here. Let me grab my little... Where is the little... Okay. I don't know where I put my other one. So we're going to use this bigger one. And what color nut? I guess we'll use black ones. I like how the black ones look better. They match the wheel better. Perfect. Okay, let's get the other front one on. Take off the silver nut. That'll make its way into the little storage compartment with all the other nuts. Perfect. I like how that sits. Okay. Now in the rear, we already have black nuts in the rear, so we're fine. Oh, my phone fell over. I have this weird setup that I made for filming. It's not the best currently, but I wanted to have a decent setup for long forms. Okay, that's looking good. It's looking real nice. Now we can mock up where we're gonna put the ESC. So the battery's gonna sit right there. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna, will this fit under the body right here? No, it doesn't. If I decase it. Looks like it fits. Okay. We'll grab a piece of Velcro and just stick it right here. I'm gonna pop these little guys off. Need them. Okay, let's see how that fits now. We can pop that off of there. Perfect. Okay. Now let's start wiring stuff up. I'm just gonna slide this underneath here. Okay. And then channel 1. And then mount the ESC on this slider. Fell over. I'll grab my drill and just tighten the screw a little bit. There we go. It's a little better. Okay, so our ESC now. Perfect. Okay. If you can hear that, then right slider. Printed. Perfect. Correct one. This time it's actually the correct one. So that way I can just screw it. It's still warm, so the plastic's a little soft. So the nice thing is it can form around stuff better. Like these screws heads that are in the other ends of it. Okay, looks good. Let me grab some zip ties. We can just zip tie all those wires. Okay, so we gotta run this wire too. Start it up so that way I can get that. Sometimes it's a little finicky with which wire wants which. So let me plug this in. Turn it on. Turn on the remote. So I do need to adjust the servo horn because that's a little bit off. Okay, now let's plug this in. Okay, lights are on. Okay, now let's get all this wiring managed. Okay, I'm gonna just zip tie all that right there. Perfect. And I think that's all we need. Battery, 3S battery will fit right there. Looks about right. Let's flip the body down. Okay, I'm gonna add a piece of Velcro here in case it's a bigger battery. Like this one. And it needs to just ride on the slider. Okay, so that's the problem. Let me mount that farther back. We might need to remove the interior. Yeah, we do. Well, doesn't really matter to me. I never really cared for it. It's less weight up top then. You guys can't see me screwing and taking it off. It's a cool little interior, but it doesn't fit, so. Perfect. Okay, now I just gotta put a little drill bit in here and drill a hole for a zip tie to go through. Do I have something smaller than this? Okay, I'll just zip tie this around. Just gonna zip tie it down here. Perfect. Okay, I will be right back. I'm going to adjust the servo and then we can drive it. Okay, I couldn't get the torque servo horn out to adjust it because Phillips' head was screwed or stripped, so I put this Injora servo in it. It seems to work pretty well. It's not as fast as the Torx, but it works. But now it's all done. Got some decent flex. It's a lot heavier in the front than the rear, but all around good truck. Stick a weight on the top of the servo. There we go. Got some weights on the servo. We should be good. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, everything. Hope that this helped with your Scx24 upgrade ideas. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.